how to go forward. You know, the youth is our future, and we must prepare them to go forward. The best thing for me to do, I think, is just to talk a little bit about how I got where I was, because I was never a political person. I never did politics. I never did county committee. I never did district leader, but I did community work. I did community politics, and I was known in the community, and that's how I was chosen, to do this. But I started many years ago as a little kid, 10 and a half years old. I joined the Boy Scouts, and it sounds like, what are you going to learn from the Boy Scouts? But they taught me community, and they taught me to be a good citizen in the community, and they taught me to make sure that you fight for community needs, and that's what we did. As a kid, we cleaned up the parks and we cleaned up the streets, and things were tough. I came from Bushwick. It was a tough area back then, and we fought to keep it nice, and growing up as a grown up, as I got a little older, in my community of Glendale and Ridgewood, I got active with the Greater Ridgewood Youth Council. And the Greater Ridgewood Youth Council, although as a volunteer, it made me continue my civic engagement in the community to make it a great place. And we taught the young kids in our programs, educational programs and sport programs, everything, to be good citizens and to go out and do the things in your community to make it a great community. And we taught them about having to reach out, to your elected officials and get them active, get them, doing the things that you need to have done in your community. And from there, I joined the Glendale Civilian Observation Patrol. And you say, well, why am I bringing that up? Well, our community was getting tough. Crime was on the uptick. Graffiti was on the uptick. People were dumping all over. And so I wanted to make sure I continued, my engagement in my community, and joined GCOP. And we went out and patrolled the streets. So at night, when everyone was home sleeping, we were patrolling the streets to keep it safe. We were stopping people from robbing cars and breaking into houses. And at one point, graffiti was just crazy. Wherever you looked, there was a roll down gate with graffiti on it. And for us, that's a blight on our community. We want it to look beautiful. And so we went out and cleaned up all the roll down gates, and we started a war on graffiti in our community. And for 2-year time, we were responsible for catching over 280 graffiti vandals. And, you're not looking to put them away, but you're looking to get them to stop doing it. And so we brought them back to clean up the community, and the graffiti that they put on these, walls and stuff and the roll down gates, it's getting active. All we wanted to do is to preserve and protect the quality of life in our community. And so I'm 60 now. So for 50 years, I worked in my community, doing the things to make my community a better place, reaching out to the people that we needed to reach out to, lobbying the elected officials, lobbying them to do that. We want a light here. We want this done. We want, garbage cleaned up. We actually went around and caught people dumping, like on, out of road by us is a railroad track, but people went and dumped. And we sat there and caught them and stopped people from going there and cleaned it up. And it's a beautiful place. That's engagement in a different way. But that's how it got me here. That's how it got me to the assembly, because when there was an opening in this assembly seat, a lot of people were running. I wasn't, but they came to me and said, Mike, we want you to take our community. We want you to be the assemblyman and take us forward. And I was assemblyman for 12 years. It was the greatest job I ever had, because you got to help people. And I'll bring it to the youth engagement that we're supposed to be talking about. Up in Albany, a lot of people come to talk to you. And a lot of people, are reaching out. They want to get their point across. Lobbyists want to lobby for their group or something. But the best days that I had are when local people came up to talk to me about things. And and the best days that I had was when the youth came up and would lobby me about a certain issue. And I just was amazed at how prepared they were and about how much information they brought and how much documentation they showed me just to prove to me that, hey, this is important and we have to do that. And they were young people doing that. And I was amazed at being so prepared at that age. But that's what life gets you, right? Like life prepares you for something like that. So I just wanted to give you a brief, thing about my life and how I got to this point. I got to this point by being active in my community. And I got to this point by pushing people who need to do their job, to do a better job. And so I just wanted to touch base in that respect. And going forward, even now, last year, the pandemic hit. And there were so many needs that community and people in the community needed. And one of them was food. There was a lot of food insecurity, and people were out of work and struggling. And so one of my groups that I'm involved with, the Ozone Park Block Association and COPCP, the Civilian Patrol in Ozone Park, got together to start giving out food. And start giving out food without any connections on how to do that, just that there was a need. And we had a young guy, Khan, who might be on the call, I don't know. But he stepped up, and he's the boss. I mean, he's running this food pantry, making all the connections, doing the job to get food so that we could feed 1,000 people every Saturday. That's a lot of food. It's a lot of boxes. But he reached out and got farmers on Long Island, to donate some food. And one guy said, yeah, I'll give you tomatoes. And he called his friend who, gave corn. And I never saw a 50-pound bag of carrots before, but we got thousands of them. So a young guy in our community, stepping up, taking the lead and making this work. And it's still going today, and he's doing a phenomenal job. So all I could say is get out there, get in your communities, start working, and start lobbying the people that can help you do that. And don't give up until you get what you want. And I want to thank you for giving me a few minutes.